Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to my second segment, Shock Value. Now, I'd like to start off by saying I apologize for being in such a delay. This is my first time on this platform, and I'm just trying to get used to the order and everything. So I truly appreciate your patience, and I will definitely promise I'll do better. I swear I'll do better. I will. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. So, shock. Shock is one of the first phases of grief. The only phase that I agree with that is in the correct order of grief. Everything else in the phases just fell off a cliff because, as you and I know, it never works out that way. There's no year, there's no month, there's no time frame for you to get where you're supposed to be, okay? I can tell you this. I remember when, within the last 4 weeks of my husband being in a hospital before he passed, he was on a regular floor. And if you are a spouse that had a spouse with cancer, you know that there are multiple oncologists that work together. Well, for the first time since our first time entering into the hospital, we seen his original doctor come into his room, which that's never good news. He came in and he sat down and he uttered these words: "I'm sorry, you're going to have to prepare." Now, my face just totally dropped. Clearly it dropped. I was in utter completely shocked. Completely just shocked. Okay. Everything else that came out of his mouth was just gibberish. Matter of fact, I didn't hear anything. I just seen his lips move. And near the end, probably about 5-10 minutes, he asked me, "Are there any other questions?" I said yes. "When are we getting out of here?" Because we were working on a holistic regimen, and I am a holistic person, and I'll speak about that sometime down the line as well, because I believe in wholeness. So when he said he wasn't sure, his decline was rapid, the only thing I told him was, well, we need to get out of here so we can get some high dose vitamin C into his brain. I wasn't thinking anything else, literally nothing else. My focus was, he's alive, he needs to stay alive. We didn't work this far to keep him here for you to have the audacity to come and tell me this is the end. And you know, whether it is arranged or if it's sudden, nothing prepares you for the end of your journey together. I'm gonna tell you this. During the time he was talking, everything was running through my head, right? The time we met, our first dinner, our first date, the time that we looked at rings together. Literally, everything was a movie reel running together. I couldn't think about nothing else. I was just in shock that he even said that. Because at that point in my life, I felt like I was a failure. I failed my husband, okay? So I'm like, I wasn't going to accept anything else, period, you know? So I said that to say, the word shock seemed like it's a bad thing for some people because it's a very uncomfortable feeling to be in. And if you've never been in shock, I've never been in shock up until that point. It's a really terrible feeling and it makes your body feel uncomfortable. So for some people, they find comfort in going numb, okay? Some people say shock and numb are the same. No, I'm here to tell you, it's not. It's not. Shock and numb is not the same. Shock allows for reactivity. Numbness does not. What I mean by reactivity is you have an opportunity of knowing how you feel and reacting to it by changing your environment or changing what you're doing at that moment to get out of that feeling. Even if you're by yourself or you're with someone else, it doesn't matter. As long as you're able to know your surroundings, know where you are and who you are at that point in time, you are able to get out of it, right? Well, when you're numb, there's no reactivity. There's nothing. Your body chemistry changes, actually, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy for your body. It's not healthy for your brain. It's just not healthy at all. And certain things in your body can shut down at that moment if you don't get out of it in a timely fashion. I remember when my husband literally passed away and my body automatically went into numb phase. Of course, not automatically. I chose to go there, but without further delay of that situation, the nurses had to rush towards me because my skin was turning a certain color because I was going numb. So there's a lot of people who stay numb for a very long time and it's very hard for them to come out of it. So I said all that to say, I urge you, when you feel you're going that way, back out of it real quick. Don't let yourself go. If there's people around you, because God will send you your family member, a stranger, or even a nurse. In my case, it was a nurse as well. She didn't know me from Adam, but I know God sent her. And I'll explain that story in another segment as well. I said all that to say it's okay to feel. Feel the shock so you can be aware and not stay stuck in it, okay? That's why I said that. That's the reason why I said that. And if there's people around you, surrounding you, let them. You don't have, or they don't have to go through the same thing that you're going through to make sure that you don't stay in that element, okay? It's perfectly okay. That's what they're there for, okay? Let them be your guide at that moment in time, because that is what you're going to need. You don't even know it yet, but that is what you're going to need. You okay? So, in the comments, let me know, when was your state of shock? How did you get out of it? And how long it might have taken you? Or who was around you at that time who helped guide you through that very moment? And if you have any suggestions for anybody else, that would be amazingly awesome as well. Okay? So just to wrap this up, I appreciate you joining me. I'm so happy to be in your presence. And I would like to thank God for creating me, my mom for birthing me, my husband for preparing me, and most of all for you to listen. Okay? Make sure you love each other, and God bless. See you next segment. Bye.